ESPN's Feast Week presented by Lowe's. The #1 team in the nation, South Carolina, in search of more history tonight on the road at Clemson. South Carolina has won 42 straight games. One more win, and they would break the school record for win streak. And the Gamecocks control the tip.
Clemson's going to start out in man-to-man. It's going to be interesting, Courtney, to see how they defend the paint. Will it be difficult or easy for the Gamecocks to get the ball inside?
Te-Hina Paopao is going to drive. You will see that more often. Led the nation in three-point shooting last year. We mentioned Loyal McQueen for Clemson. Well, she's a nice compliment. Hannah Cohn came over from Chattanooga with Sean Poppy to be a Clemson Tiger.
Well, Hannah Cohn, look, this is a young woman who can shoot the basketball. Number 5 in white. Raven Johnson's going to have her hands full to make sure she takes away any open looks.
Maddie Cluse driving and gets rejected by Sanaya Fagan down low.
The staple for South Carolina, though, is their defense. It talked about the imposing of the post play. It's one of the points of emphasis. Hannah Cohn had a nose ring in. No jewelry will be allowed to be worn in collegiate play.
I think she just threw it on the floor on the sideline.
I hope it wasn't real gold. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go get my metal detector.
South Carolina's starting 5. How about Chloe Kitts? She is averaging a double-double, one of 3 averaging a double-double while shooting over 65% from the field.
Kitts put in work in the offseason. You can just tell how much stronger and confident she's playing this season.
Gets to the rim there but can't finish. Gets the rebound back and falls out of bounds. Tessa Miller up at the top of the key. Back over to Loyal McQueen with a little shake and bake. Cohn in the corner. Doesn't get the bounce.
That was the shot Clemson wants.
Bree Hall, kick out, the long 2 for Sanaya. Fagan goes swish.
Yeah, the post play last year was 6-7, get the ball inside to Camila Cardoso. But when you have post players like Fagan that have a face-up game as well, it really helps open up the floor.
I think the versatility we're going to see out of South Carolina's post this year was scary for the rest of the nation. Loyal McQueen with a bucket. Fagan calling for it down low. She's guarded by Tessa Miller. Trying to kick to the corner to Bree Hall, and that's going to be a turnover.
It's going to come from the guards.
Already 2 early turnovers in this game. Maddie Cluse banks it in. Clemson not afraid of the #1 team in the nation. Raven Johnson will set things up for the Gamecocks. Paopao on the wing.
Clemson taking away any driving lanes.
The mid-range game for Chloe Kitts.
He said if this game's in the 60s, they got a chance.
We'll see how Poppy's plan plays out. Loyal McQueen slicing up the defense. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Tessa Miller, they got to get a shot up. It's going to stay with Clemson, but only 1 second on the shot clock. Not aware of how much time is on the shot clock. And she told us she's grown a lot.
So quick with the basketball.
A little too much on the shot there. McQueen throwing it up with one hand, and she's going to get fouled. Her 3rd different school, but she is back at home. She was the #1 recruit in the state coming out of high school.
And she is one of the best at getting to the free throw line. At Alabama, she was 104 of 131. The defense of Clemson has been impressive.
They shut down Paopao driving. And there's going to be a foul on the floor. I've already seen Te-Hina Paopao drive at least twice in this game, not just a 3-point shooter. Hannah Cohn with the rebound, the outlet up to McQueen. Back to Cohn, launching the transition. 3, a little too much. Fagan corrals it. South Carolina has had some slow starts this season.
Yeah, they had a real slow start in the first game of the season against Michigan. They settled for just outside jumpers, not really getting the ball inside. And you see how populated the paint is anytime South Carolina gets the ball.
South Carolina 2 for 9 from the field to start. Mia Moore picks up her dribble. Te-Hina Paopao takes it from her. Over the defense. That breaks a 2-minute scoring drought.
Clemson playing 4 guards, really 4 out and 1 in.
Paopao up ahead to Fagan. In stride and transition can be really good for South Carolina.
That's one of those live ball turnovers, though, that Sean Poppy did not want to see.
Small sample size.
But it's not something new. It's something that has been traditional.
They'll throw it up to Ashlyn Watkins. Misses the shot. South Carolina's had some open looks at the basket. Haven't been able to make them. Transition bucket ends a 4-minute scoring drought for Clemson. Transferred over from Chattanooga with Sean Poppy, one of 3 players to come from Chattanooga with Coach Poppy. And Thompson gets the rebound.
South Carolina only 4 offensive rebounds so far in this first quarter.
Wiley thought about the 3. Gives it up to Watkins. That's going to stay with South Carolina.
Cardoso last season at 6'7", they could throw over the top. Now this season, as a post player, you got to do your work early to gain that advantage. Joyce Edwards, that's a good job right there. She had a drop step inside, caught it, and had the advantage to the rim. When I watch Joyce Edwards play, it's hard for me to, she doesn't look like a freshman. She has such maturity, number 8 in black, such maturity on the floor.
Joyce Edwards, the National Gatorade Player of the Year. She was the number 3 recruit in this year's signing class.
Get her ball handling, then worked on drives to the basket, different finishes inside. She's preparing to get herself right there. If she doesn't score it, she's getting to the free throw line. Well, and Loyal, she told me, she said, listen, she appreciated everything and her opportunities that she had at Alabama.
She already has 6 points. South Carolina can take the last shot of the quarter. Paopao off the screen. And Clemson gets a stop before the quarter ends. The Clemson Tigers up by a point after 10 minutes.
They're up 1. If they can limit the turnovers, they keep themselves in the driver's seat.
Tigers working it around the horn. Here's Mia Moore trying to shake Tessa Johnson. And Raven Thompson throws it away.
Poole was in drop coverage, but Paopao didn't look for the jumper.
Joyce Edwards covered up, and it's swiped away into the hands of Summa Evans. Mia Moore pulls up with the elbow, swatted away by Ashlyn Watkins. Paopao with the spin, just short. Loyal McQueen. Stopped by Tessa Johnson. Yeah, there's a lot of returning faces on this South Carolina roster, but they're asking them to do some different things, new roles.
Well, you talked about not having Camila Cardoso. What kind of confidence does that give you to pull the trigger from 3 when you know you've got Cardoso inside? Oh, Hannah Cone!
Falling to the floor makes it go swish.
Transition defense has been really good for Clemson. They had 3 people back. Hannah Cone, she's been looking for that shot, the focus and the finish. The fans can't even believe it.
The foul was on Tessa Miller, her first. Finally, a bucket goes in. Mia Moore lets it fly from the top of the key.
That's 5 threes for Clemson. That 4 out, 1 in offense. I'm sorry, 3 threes for Clemson.
Up off the window goes Bree. Maddie Kloos almost lost it. 4 seconds trying to get around Chloe Kitts. Count the bucket for Te-Hina Paopao.
You see Paopao trying to take this game over.
Ladies, thank you. And South Carolina retakes the lead.
I think Kelly is exactly right. Clemson has done a nice job of keeping this a half-court game. As long as it's low scoring, they have an opportunity. What Clemson cannot allow is South Carolina to get out in transition.
Mia Moore throws up a shot in the paint. Rebound by South Carolina. It is a 6-0 run for the Gamecocks. And Te-Hina Paopao, she's hit another level now.
Yeah, she knows that she's got to take this.
Coming over from JMU, where he set a school record with 32 wins last season, now leading the way for the Doors. Ashlyn Watkins short in the paint. Chloe Kitts, that's the extra strength she has added, and Sean Poppy's got to call timeout.
Keeping weight on in the off season. She even does weight workouts on game day. That's how committed she is to her fitness.
So do you. Maddie Kloos lets it fly.
I did get my workout in today. Thank you very much, Courtney Lyle.
I'm proud of you. And Molly Benetti, the strength coach, told us the biggest thing with Chloe Kitts was the nutrition piece. Not that she was eating bad, just that she needed to eat more.
Well, she just burned so many calories with how hard she plays.
Every game, every practice.
You know, when she came in early in South Carolina and I looked at her frame, I'm like, okay, is she an SEC player? She said, yes, I am.
No question.
With the toughness that she's brought, very, very impressive young woman for the Gamecocks.
Averaging a double-double this season. 5 seconds here for Loyal McQueen. I think Fulwiley got a hand on that ball.
And then Ashlyn Watkins got a hand on that one.
Fulwiley had a bucket last time down on this end for South Carolina. That one rolls out. Bree Hall looking for the putback, got it.
Now, I think it started with Te-Hina Paopao, Malaysia Fulwiley. The guards have really ignited. And then Chloe Kitts on the glass.
Poole trying to break a scoring drought for the Tigers. They haven't scored in 4.5 minutes.
Yes, Dawn, do you think she's going to get in? She said, I don't know. Out on the court, she was able to handle it.
South Carolina looking to extend a 14-0 run. Kitts getting her own rebound. Fulwiley back out to Tessa Johnson. Fires the three. The first made three for South Carolina in the half. And that extends their run. They hold Clemson without points for the last 5 minutes.
The composure, even as the shot clock's running down. Malaysia Fulwiley could have forced a shot, but she was very composed. Saw Tessa Johnson, the three-point shooter, open, gave it up to knock it down.
A 17-0 run. South Carolina flipped a switch in the second quarter. They're up 29-17 at the half. After the break, we'll get you back into the studio with Amina Smith and Kelly Gramlich. What did you think about how South Carolina handled being down by 5 points to this Clemson team and the pressure they put on them early?
I think that Te-Hina Paopao was key to that because of her maturity and her experience. Not to panic because Clemson was making their run and making this a ball game, and they just stayed with the game plan, started chipping away, and South Carolina turned their defense up.
Clemson did not score for the last 5 minutes of the second quarter. They only scored 6 points in that quarter. Chloe Kitts inside. They swing it around to Raven Johnson waiting in the corner. South Carolina's only 3 came at the buzzer before the half from Tessa Johnson. Moore kick back out to Loyal McQueen, wide open for the 3.
She can get a consistent 3-point shot. That will really help Clemson, especially when they get into ACC play.
Te-Hina Paopao found her shot. Just dusted it off in the locker room.
I think Paopao is the key to this team. That's why we talked about her in the open.
Yeah, Dawn Staley told us both her and Raven Johnson used last season as a catalyst for their work in the offseason. Inside to Joyce Edwards. Back out to Bree Hall. Hall waiting on the 3. Got it!
You know what I liked about that shot with Hall is she didn't have to get ready. She was already ready before the catch. And then to hold that follow-through for the finish.
I think the last couple of games we're seeing Bree Hall take some of the pressure off of herself.
Absolutely. She is a phenomenal, when she came to South Carolina, phenomenal 3-point shooter.
Stolen away by Cone. Up ahead to Mia Moore. And drew the foul. Her dad, Vernon, played basketball at Creighton. He was drafted in the 1985 NBA draft. She's got 2 brothers, 2 sisters. And she can ball a complete game for the 5'6" Mia Moore.
Coming out of the AAC, she was in the top 10 in points, assists, and steals per game. Top 5 in rebounding at 5'6". That's pretty tough.
You love to see that as a coach, don't you?
Absolutely.
That was swatted away by Raven Thompson, but South Carolina got it back. Here's Raven Johnson on the jumper.
And now Clemson's got to keep their composure. Move the ball, move their bodies like they were in that first quarter. They were getting anything they wanted.
Backdoor, Moore shut down. Foul on Paopao.
See, that's back to that composure. So you look at the spacing. Moore on the backdoor cut on Bree Hall. And still, the strength to not, if she's not going to finish it, draw the foul and get to the free throw line.
Travel, the flow, how to play with these players, the number 3 overall recruit.
But she'll dissect it. This is a high IQ, high academic player. She already knows what she wants to do when she graduates.
Environmental lawyer.
That's amazing.
Yes. It's a second foul on Raven Johnson. Tessa Miller gets them both. Paopao rejects the screen. Raven Johnson waiting in the corner.
Watch Hannah Cohn, every time she catches it, she looks at the rim. She wants to let it fly.
Clemson has not had a field goal in almost 3 minutes. Raven driving, rebound, put back, Ashlyn Watkins. You think she remembers this gym fondly? I think a couple of years ago, made some history for South Carolina here.
Yeah, just a little dunk action.
The first woman to dunk in South Carolina basketball history, and she did it at Clemson 2 years ago as a freshman.
You know, we got to see her do it last year.
You were not there.
Kentucky. Well, I watched it on TV, and I was at the Kentucky game, sitting next to you. I was jealous that you got to see the first one.
I love the patience to find her shot on that play.
Well, and what has South Carolina done? They've simplified the offense. They've gone to a high ball screen, got an opposite low post. That frees up a driving lane for Te-Hina Paopao.
That's 24 paint points now compared to just 4 for Clemson. Thompson back out to Miller, and that's going to be a turnover. Te-Hina Paopao, 13 points.
Scouting reports change. You've got to be ready to flip the script.
South Carolina has flipped the script from the first quarter where they were down a point after the first 10 minutes of this ball game. Watkins in and out, just wanted to pad the stat sheet there, rebound and the putback. Five seconds here for the Tigers. And Cone turns it over. Malaysia Fulwiley. Joyce Edwards going to the free throw line. Up and in for Joyce Edwards. We've got the SEC ACC Challenge coming.
Yeah, we've got just the pressure one-on-one defensively by South Carolina.
Fulwiley the drive and kick. Here's Paopao probing.
Ashlyn Watkins.
She just tipped it back up into the basket. That's 8 points for Watkins.
She's the most experienced, other than Chloe Kitts, post player for South Carolina. And it's going to be important for her to continue to have that type of contribution night in and night out.
She was the number 12 overall player coming out of high school as Hannah Cone with the layup. Tessa Johnson looking for the transition 3. Hit one at the buzzer just before halftime. Joyce Edwards, short on the spin. Got the rebound and the putback. That's a freshman.
I wanted that first one to go because on that spin move, she went to finish with her left. That would have been nice.
Don Staley told us the more experience, the better for Joyce Edwards right now, who's making the transition to the college game. Fulwiley, no look to Joyce Edwards, someone she used to play against in high school.
They were big rivals in high school. Both of them could have flashbacks of specific games. In the state championship, wasn't that the one where Fulwiley had 41 points and Joyce Edwards knew it?
She also reminded us it was on 41 shots. South Carolina up 20. They've led by as many as 23.
Look for them to use high ball screen action.
And the quarter ends with a scramble on the floor. But South Carolina up by 20, where she was a 3-time Olympic gold medalist. And then 3 national championships at South Carolina.
Look, in the last 10 years, Don Staley has had 7 30-win seasons. She's been to 6 of the last 9 Final Fours, all of the last 4 as well. I mean, it's success after success after success. And when she came to South Carolina, she said she knew what success looked like, what it felt like, what it sounded like, and she has really brought that to Columbia.
Traveling violation on Loyal McQueen.
And the roster that she has, loaded with talent. There's a freshman right there. And he had the right plan coming in. And they got away from it in that second quarter. South Carolina really just employed their will. But I think that this is a team, as they get more and more experience together, I think good things are going to happen here in Clemson.
Keep in mind, they have 10 newcomers. All 5 starters are transfers. He told us he wants people to see, get a taste tonight as Tessa Johnson hits.
Rebecca Lobo, Nikisha Sales, Carol Walters. You got the great Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird. I mean, the list goes on. And what, Brianna Stewart.
I mean, you could be naming them the rest of this game.
It could keep going. He's had 45 players that have been drafted into the WNBA.
When you watch his teams, when you've been around him, what makes him an elite coach?
How he teaches his players the game, and they hold themselves to a higher standard.
It's allowed them to reach 6 Final Fours over the last 9 tournaments. Ashlyn Watkins at the free throw line.
Basketball team in, what she did as a freshman, sophomore now, in her junior season. And this is a player that can get up in the air and make some lemonade out of some lemons.
You love lemonade.
I do.
She's got her first double-double of the season tonight, too. She'll help up Loyal McQueen.
What a luxury to have so many post players. And you can get something a little bit different from each one of them. You're always going to get rebounding. They're going to have a post presence, but you've got some that have that face-up game. You've got shot blockers. And you got about 6 to pick from.
Is it finding the right combos right now? Where are we at in that stage?
Well, I think it's who plays well with whom.
Yeah.
How well did Chloe Kitts play with Camila Cardoso last season?
That got her in the starting lineup. Maddie McDaniel.
I like that freshman. She's quick off the bounce. I like her decision making, when to slow and when to go.
Loyal McQueen with an open lane to the basket. And Addie Porter with the steal. Gives it up to Loyal McQueen. Addie Porter, one of the transfers from Chattanooga, and she knew when she transferred it was going to be a different role for her.
But she wanted to be a part of a program that Sean Poppy was coaching.
Tessa Johnson
is her comfort zone, playing with speed. But when you play teams that then are very deliberate and slow down the game, that was something she had to adjust to.
She said this year, better playing with pace.
I'll tell you, GMs in the WNBA need to keep an eye on number 12 in white, Mia Moore.
And I'd say number 12 in black, Mylasia Fulwiley. They got a few years.
Yeah, they got to wait a few years on Fulwiley.
Yeah. They can still look. They can still take a peek.
Oh, they're watching her, that's for sure.
Shootout! Let's go! The watch list for the Player of the Year was the Freshman of the Year last year. You can't miss her. What Dan Fisher has done with this Pitt program, incredible. They have been to the last 3 national semifinals.
Can I ask you a volleyball question?
Of course.
Kind of fix that and find a way to consistently get off to a quick start. In great shape. She had 25 points today in 24 minutes. And then there's Olivia Miles at Notre Dame.
Oh, buzzer 3 from Maddie McDaniel.
The defense, too, by McDaniels. Quickness.
Pass inside to Sakima Walker. South Carolina gets it back. Miriam Dowda in the corner.
I told you she had 3-point range in her bag. That's what I'm talking. The post players, each one brings something a little bit different.
going to be interesting to see how they start to figure each other out. This only being the 5th game of the season, too, when they bring those different elements in a game, how they work together for South Carolina.
And I think it's going to be opponent-specific, too, of the matchups of who Dawn plays with who.
Raven Johnson just cutting to the rack.
Well, I'm going to tell you why that happened, because Dada is outside the 3. Walker opens up the lane, gives up her post-up, and that gives the driving area for Raven Johnson.
Maddie Ott has checked in as well out of Frisco, Texas.
You get out running early, then their offense really starts to click.
4 seconds for Clemson. And it's a shot clock violation.
Rome wasn't built in a day, but he is laying the foundation of what this program is going to be about. His players know the plan. They are disciplined in what they do, and they're only going to get better as he continues on.
The win streak lives on for the Gamecocks. A South Carolina record, 43 straight wins.
Dawn Staley, look, she hangs her hat on her team's defense. She's got the post game to be able to dominate in the paint, dominate on the glass, and the guards that put the pressure on the perimeter, both on the offensive and defensive side of the ball.
"43 straight wins for the South Carolina Gamecocks. They beat Clemson for the 14th straight time. They've also won 33 straight games on the road, and this one they had to figure it out.
Yeah, got off to a slow start in that first quarter. Dawn Staley had to try a number of different combinations, but it was their 5th-year senior, Te-Hina Paopao, who, with her aggressiveness to the basket and just her emotion that she brought to the floor, really fired this team up.
Te-Hina Paopao, 13 points today, 3 rebounds, a couple of assists, and deciding to come back, a big factor, a big get for the South Carolina Gamecocks. And Te-Hina is joining us now. Te-Hina, how did this Clemson team challenge you guys early, and what was the conversation in the first half?
They were very scrappy, very physical. They came out punching first, so we were kind of shocked by that. But then we gathered as a team and said we can't let them do that to us, and then we came back and fought back.
In that second quarter, Te-Hina, you had a drive to the basket. You rolled, you got up with emotion. What was it that you felt you had to take upon yourself to really change the momentum of this game?
The coaches called my number and said you got to attack the rim, and that's what I did. The 3-ball wasn't loving me today, so I was able to rely on attacking the basket. And too bad I didn't make the free throw. I'll make the next one, but
we'll forgive you for that one.
Yeah, thank you. I hope so. I hope my coaches will too.
South Carolina has struggled with this season, inconsistent on what your starts are like. What is going to be important for you all to get off to a good start?
It starts on the defensive end. When we have a really good defense, we got to get back to our core, and that's defense. And when we lock in from the start on defense, it's a, guaranteed, not a guaranteed win, but it feels good to get off that good start.
Te-Hina, a new South Carolina record, 43 straight wins.
Whoa!
What has been the biggest factor in continuing the winning streak?
You got to take one game at a time. Everyone's going to give them their best, and we got to come with the mindset that, we got to take one game at a time and play for 40 minutes, and then you just got to play your best.
Te-Hina, what is the biggest difference between last year's team and this one?
I think it's been a common thing, our post players. We had a dominant big last year with Camilla, and we have so many good post players, but we're still trying to find our groove in the different combinations and lineups. But, you still got to put 5 out there, and those 5 got to compete.
A little history made tonight. Congratulations on 43 wins in a row. South Carolina gets it done on the road. Thanks, Te-Hina.
Thank you.
77-45, your final. South Carolina extending it, tested early, but coming out with another big win. The number 1 team in the nation, still undefeated. 5-0 behind 13 points from Te-Hina Paopao. All but one player who played scored for the South Carolina Gamecocks as they win 77-45.